Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we're going to take a look at the long version of how to get to combat rating 100 with a brand new character. So let's get started.
Targets identified.
So I'm going to create a brand new character for this video.
Exobyte download.
I've been toying with creating a Superboy character for some time, so I guess today's the day. Actually, I recorded this video, the footage for this video quite some time ago. I don't know if you remember, some time ago, this Universe Online gave us the opportunity to raise one character to combat rating 100 for free. And if you remember, you could raise two characters for free to combat rating 100. Seeing how I have two accounts, I was able to do it for four characters. Uh, I didn't really plan on using that. I'm not trying to rush my characters to combat rating 100 as quickly as possible. Usually, I have a lot of characters because when I'm getting tired of playing, let's say tier 8 missions, I can go back and play some tier 3 missions with a lower level character, or even better, I can go back with a level 4 character and play through the starting missions over again. So I like to be able to switch from low level character to high level character, depending on how I feel about playing the game. So I'm not usually the right guy for those kind of things. Like we can either skip the Brainiac tutorial, we can either skip to combat rating 25. I think it costs $10 to do so, or we can skip to combat rating 100, which costs $25 to do so. So I guess this Universe Online gave $25 worth of goodies to their player base by giving them a token to be able to skip to combat rating 100. Well, not really a token, but the option to be able to skip one character to combat rating 100. Or if you're a member, well, then they give you $50 worth of goodies. Assuming you had any interest in that kind of stuff to begin with. If you're like me and you have a lot of alternate characters, it's not a big deal. I still have plenty of low level characters.
Download successful.
So it'll give me a handful of new characters that will be combat training 100. Reaching 100 with a character is not that difficult, but depending on how familiar you are with the game, it can take quite some time. So if you're an old player and you know which mission to skip and which mission to use to be able to raise your combat rating as quickly as possible, then raising your combat rating to 100 is not that difficult. Although once you reach about combat rating 90, there's like or actually 80, between 80 and 100, the gap is all big when you reach that point. Although there's ways to be able to go through that somewhat quickly, but if you're playing mostly solo and mostly by yourself, then going from combat rating 80 up to combat rating 100, that's the tricky part. And usually the hardest part is just the last, going from like 98 to 100. That's usually the tricky part. Because doing very solo missions, you can easily raise your combat rating to 90, and then depending on a few bonus missions, you can raise it to 95, 96, 98. But then getting those few extra combat rating will require you to purchase gear at the vendors, or to be really lucky and get gear from one of the raids. Assuming that you can play the raids, either people don't play the raids all that much, or sometimes they will not want to play with you if they feel you're too low level. If it makes any sense. Although with the new gear that we get from time capsules, I guess it's not no longer an issue. Like once you reach combat rating 98, if you equip some gear from the time capsules, you should be able to jump to combat rating 100 fairly easily. But it will imply that either you purchase some stabilizers for the time capsules, or that you buy it from the broker, buy the gear from the broker. In which case, at least someone has to buy it from the time capsules, even if it's not you. So here we have a somewhat decent looking Superboy. So let's get started. Oh, actually, let's tweak. Let's tweak a few pieces still. I'm inspired a bit by the look that Superboy had around the mid 90s, or the early 90s actually, when we had the clone Superboy. Yeah, they look not unlike this one, although instead of the cape, you had like a black jacket. But this is about as close as I was able to get in reproducing that look within DC Universe Online. I guess I could have used one of the styles with the jacket, but I kind of prefer to use a cape. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. So let's skip to Combat Rating 100, and let's see what happens.
Earth. The center of the multiverse. It will belong to Brainiac. I do not plan an invasion, rather an assimilation. I have identified key junctions in Earth's vast nexus of knowledge. These I will capture and digitize first. Of course, some non-essential information may be captured as well. This will be sorted and purged once the digitizing is complete. Earth's resistance does not concern me. There is no intellect strong enough, or power brutal enough to resist me. Soon this planet and all it contains will be mine. Intriguing. There is an anomaly in Earth's atmosphere. Beginning analysis. These exobytes are my own technology, each one holding unknown stores of digitized power from Earth's future. My harvester ships will simply reclaim the data provided by these exobytes and seal Earth's fate. This is a new obstacle. These humans resist my assimilation. My conversion methods cannot hold them. Let the humans use their powers. In the end, they too will belong to Brainiac.
This is Wonder Woman.
So here we are in the Watchtower, and now we have our brand new character, which is, holy crap, Combat Rating 0. How is that possible? We're gonna have to equip some gear, obviously. I'm in the PvE open world. Let's switch to PvP. I pretty much always do that by default. Oh yeah, we're no loadout for us. Silly me, because we haven't assigned any powers yet. And we do seem to have some mail, so let's go and grab our mail first. I suspect it's going to be a few things like our Justice League emblem, so let's go get that. As you're seeing, I always switch to PvP by default. Even with a brand new character that's level 4, usually I will switch to PvP. There's a few reasons for that. That's at some point when I discovered the PvP open world, I never wanted to play back on the PvE open world anymore. So we got our 75 years of Batman, some vault tickets. Oh, a nice ring from Oracle. She's so sweet. That's probably our Justice League emblem. And we got a Robin exhibit for Legend, our Robin Legend for PvP. So let's consume a few things. So let's consume our modern Batman. Let's equip our ring, although we're going to equip something else in a second. Let's equip our brand new Justice League emblem. And seeing how we didn't lock our styles, the emblem changed on our character. And there we go. And sometimes there's things I want to get from the shared bank right away with a new character. In this case, I got the Stalwart Defender chest. You'll see why in just a second. So let's consume that. Oh, and we need to change the colors. I'll take a minute to customize the look of my brand new Superboy. Actually, I'll have to go redeem some stuff from the marketplace first. So let's do that. So as you can see, whenever you create a new character, you have access to all the items that you have in your claim window in the marketplace. As you can see, this is pretty much all the items I bought in the past, I don't know, 6 years. So let's consume the Superman hoodie. Sometimes sadly the menu freezes after you consume a few things, so you have to exit and come back. Not sure why it does that, but anyway, so let's go back to the redeem claim. And let's get our new Superman emblem. If it, there we go. So that should do it for now. So let's equip our hoodie, our t-shirt, and our emblem. I'll probably make a look with that that t-shirt. I just didn't come up with a good one yet. So now we have our Stalwart Defender chest with our nice Superman emblem. So let's customize the colors a bit. It kind of looks nice in black, but let's keep the classic colors. Decisions. Let's try it in black for a while. We can always change it back. Actually, let's change it right now. That kind of looks like the classic Superman from eons ago. There we go. So as you can see, we got some supply boxes from reaching combat rating 100. The first supply box will give us some colas. It will give us a whole bunch of stuff, radar enhancers, vault tickets. No, the vault tickets we already had. It's going to give us some scanners, some repair bots, some bank bots, and all that stuff. Some of that stuff is useful, so we can use it later. Some of that stuff is garbage. And also the other box gives us, as you saw, the what's it called again? And we get also weapon, a combat 100 weapon. Well, actually, it's it's 100. And now we can decide if we want a DPS or, in this case, a controller weapon. I always go for controller by default, or if I was a tank, I would go for a tank. If I was healer, I would go for a healer. I always go for the role by default because for a long time, DC Universe Online would give us DPS gear by default. So we had to build up our controller gear or a tank gear over time. So whenever I would get the chance to get a controller piece, I would do so. And I guess I kept the habit, even though it's not as necessary now, because nowadays we pretty much have unattuned gear that we can select the role we want. So it's not as big an issue as it used to be, but it's still, I still am into the habit of making a controller gear by default. So the gear we get is the Traces in Time gear. It's some 100 combat rating gear that will raise our combat rating to 100. Actually, I'm not sure if is it 100. Oh no, it's item level 88. Silly me. I should have known something was fishy. It's counterintuitive a bit. Like if we have a full set of 100 gear, you're not going to be CR100. You're going to be above that. Like in here, we have a whole set of item level 88, which will bring our combat rating to. Oh, that one is 87. Not sure why. There has to be a reason. I have no idea what it is. And it's easy to do a wrong click and to end up with a DPS gear instead of a roll gear. It's not a big issue. But yeah, you want to be careful and make sure you get the proper gear. It's not a big deal because at this point you're going to replace your gear quite pretty quickly. But if you don't want to make any mistakes and if you want to make sure that you have the gear that you want, It would be a good idea. So you can see we have 15 power points and 60 skill points with a brand new character. So we're going to have to assign those skill points and those power points to our character. I'm not sure if I'm going to make you guys suffer through that or if I'll skip that. We'll see. Assigning skill points and assigning powers will probably be a video all of its own. So in case you're curious, here's what the traces in time gear actually looks like. So you get access to that look as soon as you reach a combat rating 100, seeing how this is the gear you actually get at that point. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.